Hey YouTube, welcome back to another exciting hang gliding lesson. This is Gone Gliding and my name is Jason. Today's video is lesson number 12 here in Utah at the south side of the point of the mountain. If you happen to watch my last video, lesson number 11, I was having a little bit of a struggle that day and I got to redeem myself here in lesson 12. I had some really great flights and my fourth flight was one of the most exciting for me because I had my very first escalator landing. Not an elevator, an escalator. So what that means is when the wind is coming at you fast enough, you can slowly glide yourself down, almost like you're taking an elevator or an escalator down to the ground, instead of the normal way that I've been landing up to this point. And you need the certain amount of wind speed to be able to do that, and it happened for me today, which I just thought was super awesome. So check out my fourth flight. If you don't check out anything else in this video, see how awesome that is. At the end of today's lesson, my instructor told me that for my next launch, I should be going off the top of the mountain. So very excited for that. So stay tuned, come back for lesson 13 and see if I go off the top of the south side of the point of the mountain here in Utah. That'll be my first time. I'm very excited to do that. Other than that, today was a great day for flying. I really enjoyed it. I hope you enjoy this video. Please give me a thumbs up to like the video, subscribe, and leave a comment as well. Let's go watch this video. Come fly with me.
Radio check, radio check.
Yeah, find a good target into the wind. Got quite a bit going on the ground at the moment. With this much traffic, when we do go, I call your launch loud enough for others to hear it. Once you kind of imagine your flight, let me know how the field's looking to you.
I feel like it's looking okay. With the wind, I don't have concerns about getting over the people near the road.
We're gonna land short of them.
Wait, you want me to land?
I believe with these conditions, because the wind cuts your glide. So I don't think you're gonna be flying over top of them very easily.
Really?
So I'd say either you want to be on one side of them or the other.
All right, so this is a great time to pause the video and have a little bit of a discussion for all of you other beginners who are learning how to hang glide. I want to draw attention to this book that I referenced in my last lesson, lesson 11, because in chapter 7 it talks exactly about what my instructor is talking about here. So for a little bit of context, I also have some experience with sailboats and sailing. And when you're sailing, you want to sail into the headwinds or the winds coming towards you. And when you are sailing with a tailwind at you, you're not going nice and smooth. It's more choppy because the wind is hitting that sail and it's pushing it. Slowly, you're getting through the water. But when you have a headwind, it actually provides lift on the boat, which is what allows you to glide forward into the wind. So during this lesson, in my mind, I was thinking more on the sailboat type concept where if I have wind coming towards me as a hang glider pilot, then I can just stay in that wind as long as I want and I can float up and I can float down. And if I can increase my speed enough, I can go forward through that wind because it's creating my lift. And that's what was going on in my head. And so my instructor kind of resetting me saying, actually, that's going to cut your glide makes a lot of sense when we look at chapter 7.
All right, so chapter 7 is really good. It goes into more about the principles of flight, and some of the topics that it hits include lift, airspeed, angle of attack, stalls, pitch and roll control, axis of movement, and things like that. And here in the beginning, it talks about relative wind, which is the wind that's flowing over you created by your own motion. So think about yourself on a bicycle on a day that has no wind. You start riding your bike and now you're feeling wind even though the wind itself isn't blowing. So that's our relative wind. Then the book talks about the angle of attack, which basically means, if the wind is coming directly at you and you have the nose of the hang glider, pointed up, you've got a higher angle of attack. If you've got the nose pointed down, that's a lower angle of attack. And that's all relative to the direction that the wind is coming towards you. After that, chapter 7 starts to talk about speeds to fly, which includes things like your trim speed, your best glide speed, and those types of ideas. So here it's talking about, your glide angle or how far you can go at what speed and things like that, given the relative wind. And then lastly, we get into the part of where I was having this conversation with my instructor, and he was telling me how the wind is going to cut our glide. And so here in diagram A, there's no wind at all. And you can see that the hang glider pilot glides down safely. In diagram B, he's experiencing what I was experiencing on this lesson, where the wind is coming at me and it cuts my glide, therefore not allowing me to go as far. And then in diagram C, there's a tailwind, and so the hang glider pilot can go much further than when he has no wind or when there is a headwind, which is cutting your glide. One interesting thing that I'd like to point out is, you know, myself, I like to watch a lot of hang gliding videos on YouTube and other platforms as well. And I like to watch those hang gliders who are just kind of coasting on a beach with those coastal winds coming towards them, and they can just kind of float around, and they don't go out towards the ocean, but they're not getting blown back towards the city. They're staying basically right in the exact same spot. And that all is playing with the correct trim speed and everything else to keep the glider at the speed it wants to just float. Because if they increase their angle of attack and raise that nose up, then they can gain some elevation, but they're also going to start floating backwards more. If they lower that nose, decreasing the angle of attack, they could glide out more towards the ocean, or they could just bring themselves back down to land, like sort of like an elevator, just floating down, or they could glide out a little bit onto the beach and make a landing. So it's not quite like a sailboat where you're actually gaining lift on the boat, allowing you to glide through the water into a headwind. It's the opposite. So this was a great concept, and I'm glad I actually had the opportunity to have some hands-on experience, because I learn a lot better once I'm able to read a book like this and then go out and actually do it.
All right, anyway, thank you for going through that with me. I hope that helps any of you if you were having the incorrect mindset like I was, to understand how the headwinds are going to cut your glide, how the tailwinds are going to help you move faster, further as a hang glider pilot. Let's get back to the video.
Remember, if there's an object in your way, look where it isn't.
Yeah.
Have fun. Launching!
Launching!
Hard luck. Nice save there. Alright, good warm-up. I can tell you being pretty intentional with that speed control there. That's good to see. Notice how much of a difference it made when you did speed up. All those little adjustments you were trying to do got a lot easier to do. Landing looked good. A little switchy today, so you notice that last little bit to the left really helped save the end of that there. Nice job making that landing work. A little bit of what we were doing at the start of last lesson, kind of not using the hips as much. But it looked like you kind of caught that, dialed it in a little bit better toward the end there. And then you did that really well.
Probably going to run into a little bit of a gradient out there. All right, we can see it's coming kind of up at us this way here, a little west out there. That's kind of what we want, right? So it lets us kind of launch out here, fade that way, look right, land going to the west. With that gradient though, we're going to anticipate there being some bumps out there, right? So just don't necessarily need to be diving through the whole flight, but ready to increase that speed if you need some extra control. You can feel the glider already wants to fly.
Yeah.
Radio check, radio check.
Feeling ready?
Yeah.
Launching!
Launching!
That's probably the strongest one we've launched in to date. That was a good job. Roll controls looked awesome. Really good control of your speed. Notice how distracting stuff in the field can be, right? It ended up not being too big of a deal, but even though you know you don't want to have your focus on that stuff, how easy it is to kind of get to that point where you feel like there's nowhere to go but toward those objects. And remember back at the flight, and there was quite a bit we could do. So with covering ground, you noticed as you were getting slower, you were kind of penetrating through the wind a little less efficiently. You were starting to go down a little bit quicker. I encourage you to speed it up. You sped it up a ton. And notice we kind of went the other way, started getting down really quick. But with that as well, you notice you had that option to dump a little bit of it and use that to keep yourself at a height or climb a little bit. So it's good to just know that you have a ton of control there with that pitch, and we can really use that to make the glider go where we want it to go. You know, there was just quite a lot to happen right before your landing. You really did have a bunch of energy left to make that landing nice and smooth. That kind of big pitch out cut a lot of what you had left, so it made you have to improvise a little bit at the end there, but it was gentle, and I thought that was really nice looking flight. Well done.
So that speed makes you cut through better. Notice a lot of speed makes you go down faster. So it's kind of just noticing what the glider's doing in space.
With the wind speed doing what it was, I felt like my pitch input for the increased speed definitely brought me down faster than normal.
Yep.
Does that happen when you're in faster wind?
So our best glides, so there's a polar curve. As headwind increases, your most efficient flight speed increases with it.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
Because we need that forward motion. So you can be at best glide, but if you have a significant headwind, you can be going kind of nowhere.
Yeah.
Right? So adding on a little bit of juice to that, you'll be going down quite a bit faster.
Yeah.
But you're going to be penetrating through more quickly.
Right.
But once you get faster than best glide, now we're not flying as efficiently, right? So I think you were going a little slower than what was ideal, and you sped it up past it.
Okay.
All right. So that's something you can try to mess with just at the start of your final there, and then really settle into that high speed for the landing.
Launching! Launching!
Turn control looked really good. Both those turns looked great. Looked like you were putting yourself where you wanted to be. And then landing looked good as well, so you got rocked around a little bit. Did a good job steering through it and made that landing look really smooth. Very nicely done there.
Last time pretty easy to clear those folks below us. Keeping your eyes forward.
Radio check, radio check.
Launching! Launching! That was awesome. It's like an elevator.
Alright, that looked like a lot of fun. Really good control on those turns. Notice a little bumpiness there, not anything too bad. Turn back to the right, looked awesome. Notice the benefit of having just that sort of speed coming in. It's not too rock and rolling right now, so there's definitely a little bit of bumps down there. Notice how they just let you punch through it, and then you can really just feel how that pitch is going to affect you on the landing there. That's about as strong of a wind as I want to launch you in that we just went in. So I think this is going to be a good spot to call it a morning. So if you don't mind just making your way back towards the vehicle there, we'll meet you over there in a little bit.